So one of the topics that I said I said I wanted to talk about today was about some advice or tips for first-time Burning Man attendees. I mean, the reality is it's very hard to prepare for Burning Man, but there's some things that you can know or embrace so that you can get the ground running as fast as possible. One of the emails was like, can you show me how to look like a burner? And when I phrased that and I asked the community any tips on how to act, look, and be more like a burner, a number of people pushed back and said, whoa, look like a burner. And I kind of was like baiting people because I believe the same thing. There is no such thing as looking like a burner. There are trends and there are fashions that become quite popular in certain parts of burner culture, like steampunk is very popular. Fur is very popular. Kind of some mutant go-go dancing sexiness is very popular. I always viewed it as, if this was a place where you could be a superhero, what superhero would you be and how would that superhero dress? So it makes any fantasy, any idea, any self-perception of yourself in your dream you, dress that part. One of the cool things that happens there is that people let themselves be sexy. Depending on where you are in your life right now, you may or may not understand this, that sexiness is not a visual thing. The spectrum of sexiness is not determined by visual things. It's determined by attitude and sense of self and comfort in one's skin. And so something happens at Burning Man as people fall into this self-love and this self-comfort and this them, and they let them shine. It is the sexiest place on the world. Not because of the nudity, but because people let themselves shine. And there's nothing more beautiful and nothing sexier than a true, beautiful brother and sister. So let yourself fall into that. Let yourself fall into your fantasy. Let yourself fall into whatever it is that you want to be. People on the playa are not expecting you to do anything. They are expecting you to be yourself and then do whatever that person would do. That being said, what are some things that you can know going into this crazy experience that will let you feel more like a participant? Because that's really what we're talking about, is how can I be more of a participant? How can I not go check this out? And how can I go make this better? That's why this is a different experience than what many people are used to. You're used to going to an event. There is no event. Burning Man is a bunch of streets and some porta potties and us. Veterans, newbies, theme camps, individual people, it's us. And we bring the magic in our intention, in our letting ourselves out. That's the magic. There is no receiving the show. There is stepping into us and letting ourselves be the show. Some specific things that people mentioned that I wanted to share. Christina said, rock a regional first, which I think is a really cool idea. If you have a regional group, because let me just explain what regionals are. Regionals, as Burning Man has grown to the place it's at now, one of the main objectives has been to try to create this regional network where each city has a representative and people that come together to throw events and get that 10 principles and burner vibe growing in their communities. So if you can find the closest one to you, connect with them, get involved with them. If they have an event, absolutely go. If they have an art project, absolutely see if you can add to it. The people you meet locally that are burners or identify with that is going to be by far your best tool to getting in alignment with that participant attitude. If you don't have that ability locally, Adrian said, commit to some volunteer duties in advance. There are all sorts of things that happen on the playa that require volunteers. Everything does. Some are more organized than others. For example, the Lamplighters. The Lamplighters are a group that ritualistically, sacredly light by hand the lamps that illuminate the main street of the city. That is an experience that very few people have in the modern world, is the ability to be part of a sacred ceremony. Now, it requires a time commitment, and it requires you to go to certain trainings. But if you can, in advance, connect with a group like that, you are hit the ground running and in that mode of, I'm part of this event, and I'm part of what makes this event special. Over and over, people said, don't be a Darkwad. A Darkwad, which is a term I don't like so much, I'm not sure why, but Darkwad is someone who is not lit up at night. This is a city where chaos works when everybody does their part. And the chaos at night works if everybody lights themselves. So what you want to do is find some way to keep yourself lit up at night. And you can be as creative or as mundane as you want. If you just want to hang a flashlight around your neck so it points down at you, do that. I would recommend doing one on the front and the back so no bicyclists hit you from behind. Ideally, do something that is battery operated, something that you can use throughout the week. A lot of people, glow sticks used to be what everybody used, but the trash and the landfill of glow sticks every night is less in alignment than I would advise. But whatever you need, make sure you're lit at night. You also want to have some light with you because, God forbid, you have to use the bathroom at night. Just, I don't want anyone to lose a limb in a porta potty. Stuart said, always carry a spoon, bowl, and cup. Because you never know when you're going to find a drum circle. Boom. No, well, maybe. But actually, as you travel around, many people will offer you food and drink, or potentially could. But if they do, what you don't want to do is create trash or take things from them that you need to then clean. I mean, if you have your own utensils, your own drinking especially, then you can participate and receive gifts and do so while not putting a burden on anybody else or landfills or anything like that. Bliss added, don't carry anything in your hands, which is another great advice, which means that, don't carry around a scepter because you're going to, or you can, but only when you're in parade mode. Try to keep yourself able-bodied to play. So with regards to a cup or lips chapstick or whatever the things you're going to have, think about, I like to think about making a belt with a bunch of loops on it. You put carabiners or pouches or little fanny packs so that you have with you all of this stuff, but your hands are free so you can play and jump on a sculpture or climb something or pose for a picture or whatever it is and not always be holding this stuff. And also that way you won't accidentally leave MOOP by setting something down and forgetting about it. MOOP? What's that, you say? MOOP is matter out of place. MOOP is the evil dragon that we need to fight all week long. Never let anything touch the ground and say, oh, I'll pick that up later. MOOP is trash, MOOP is a beer can, MOOP is a cigarette butt, MOOP is a glitter, MOOP is a sequin. You want to make sure your costumes or your outfits, don't bring any costumes, bring outfits. Costumes is you pretending, outfit is you being. That being said, don't bring any outfits that have things on them that are going to fall apart or come off if you're going to be using it aggressively. You don't want a feather or a sequin to then hit the ground, which would then be, that's like a penalty. Yellow flag. You don't want to add MOOP to the playa. Every time you're out and about and you see MOOP, think of it as an example of one of your brothers and sisters that needs a gift. And at the moment that they dropped this thing, they were in a place where they needed your help, and you're going to help them now. So you're going to pick up that beer can, you're going to pick up that glitter, whatever it is that you see, and put it in a Ziploc or a baggie that you carry with you if you can, or make specific trips out to just pick up MOOP as you go. In your camp itself, you should be doing that on a daily basis, going around and just picking up the things that you, your campmates, or anybody around that things flew and blew into your area. Just keep it off the ground, keep it off the ground, keep it off the ground. One of the reasons the magic of this party becomes more than a party is that we do so in a construct, within a framework with ideals. And one of those ideals is leave no trace. So if you can have this amazing experience and also do so without leaving a mess, it makes it that much more amazing and more heart-opening and more inspiring. You'll feel it, but knowing that might help it happen faster. A couple other just tips to make your experience better, and I actually have a series of tips and tricks videos on lustmonkey.com as well as on the Burning Man blog. That's lustmonkey.com. Some ones that people added that I thought were great. Nina said, vacuum seal your favorite takeout food. So before you leave, get your favorite whatever, lasagna or something, cut it into small portions, vacuum seal it, freeze it, and bring it in a freezer to the playa. And then you can just like boil that pouch and have a hot meal of something that you enjoy. It's going to be, if you depend on like army rations or protein bars all week, eventually you're going to really wish you had something a little bit heartier. Tiffany pointed out that if you are one who is planning on consuming party favors, bring them. And a few people echoed this in other degrees. You may be tempted to think that because there's so much freedom here, it is also lawlessness. Burning Man, as it is today, is highly patrolled by police. There is a significant effort to prosecute those that are using illegal things in public. Do not ask for them from somebody. Do not offer them to somebody who asks for them. Do not do them in a way that would be public. I know nobody who's listening to me would ever do or consume something that the government has told us is wrong because they know best. But if for some reason you decide to go down that just say no path, be very careful. I know a number of people who have stumbled into there, as well as heard horror stories from many others. This is a real thing to consider. Take care of yourself and your own, and don't let your gifting romance slip into the way you do illegal things on the playa. I won't say any more in case I incriminate myself. By the way, I'm speaking metaphorically. I myself have never consumed anything except for some expired aspirin in 1987, and that was the last time. Nina says, organize costumes in Ziploc bags, one outfit at a time. Bins and Ziplocs are going to be your saving grace. Everything will be covered in dust, even things you put in your tent. So if you can keep things in Ziploc bags and organize that way, because you're going to start tearing through your stuff, looking for that one tiara. Tiara? One of each. And your stuff's going to be going crazy. So if you can try to organize your stuff by outfit and in bags you can see through, it will help a ton. And while you got your Ziplocs out, keep a drive home outfit, which is some pants, underwear, socks, shirt that is clean, that you're going to put on after you get your first shower in Reno, or whenever you get yourself relatively clean. Because otherwise, at the end of the week, you're going to get in your car and you're going to get a shower, and then you're going to go, oh my gosh, what am I going to put on now? Everything is dusty. Keep one outfit in your go-home bag. Now, the last thing I want to touch on is gifts. Gifting. And I have a whole another video about gifting, but I just wanted to touch on that, because it's something that often gets people caught up. They go, well, I know that you were supposed to give gifts to everyone. What should I bring? And some people in the comments were very much like, don't bring trinkets. Don't bring just little doodads to give people. And I would amend that and say, don't feel obligated to bring trinkets. It's a wonderful opener to have something to give people. What that is does not need to be a physical thing. It does not have to be something that you plan in advance. Gifting is really an attitude. Gifting is a way of saying, how can I make other people's day a little bit better? And the fun comes when you start to take that attitude away from, oh, hey, I want to give you a bracelet, which is fine, totally cool, especially if you make bracelets. Share your art. Please, that's one of the easiest and coolest ways. If you make music, bring some CDs. If you make blank, share your art. Yes. But the magical thing is starting to see that everything you do in the world is art. And everything that you experience can be enhanced with some sort of gift. So if you see someone struggling with their tent, opportunity to gift. Walk over, hey, can I hold this down for you? What else can I, what can I do to lend a hand? Somebody's cooking food for a bunch of people, say, hey, need some help back there with dishes? Somebody comes, you realize that one of the porta potties has no teepee, and you see somebody going into it. Go, oh, hey, wait on, let me get some from this teepee, this porta john, so that you're okay. When you start seeing the world as opportunities to get better, then everything, the line to get in, how can I make the person's behind me's day a little better? Hey, we got some cold this. Gift. How can, do you see how that works? Gifting is a process where you start to just open up and see that we are all connected. It is easy to think of gifting when you first fall into it as being a bartering, where you trade. But bartering is still commerce. Whether you're bartering your stuff for their stuff or paper symbolic money for your goods and services, it's still an exchange. It's still the energetic is some zero. But a gift is like Christmas morning when you see a little kid open up your present. And they go, ah! And then you see them and it makes you happy and you go, now the sum is not zero, it's +1, +1, +2. And so on the playa, when you start practicing that and you see people light up because of something you did for them and it lights you up, whoa, that will change everything in your life. Oops, spoiler alert, your life's going to be changed if you let it. So, please keep contributing tips. Let's make this a communal learning experience. We are all in this together. I look forward to seeing people on the playa that make it. I look forward to seeing people in other locations, whether that be the San Diego Burning Man Film Festival coming up in mid-March, or the Lucidity Festival, or wherever our paths cross. There are always opportunities for gifting, for expressing, for burning. I hope I see you at home, wherever that is. I love you! This is Halcyon, and I would love to stay connected. If you're on Facebook, I would love to be your friend, but I have maxed out on friends. But since almost everything I publish is public, if you want to just subscribe to my feed, it's kind of like we're friends and then we beat the Facebook system. Also, please connect with me on anybeat.com, which is the burner-owned social network that I helped co-found and work at right now. So anybeat.com/Halcyon, come say hello. Facebook.com/John Stin, or YouTube.com/Halcyon Stin. Actually, it's user/Halcyon Stin. But if you're watching this video now, you hardly need the URL. You just need to click the YouTube video. It'll go to my page and wow, technology. Anyway, it's a pleasure to be connected to you in this moment, and I hope we can have more of them. I